Four friends at Rivergate High School were known as the weakest students in school. They weren't popular, they weren't strong, and unfortunately, the bullies knew it. One afternoon after school, a group of students surrounded them behind the sports field. Before they could react, the bullies shoved them into a pile of dirt and laughed while burying them in sand. But none of them knew this would be the last time those four friends would ever be helpless. Later that afternoon, the four friends slowly walked home together, covered in dust and embarrassment. But suddenly Lena stopped walking. She had forgotten something important. Her tiny pet mouse named Harry was still in the classroom. So the four friends turned around and ran back to school. When they returned, the school was quiet and nearly empty. But then they saw someone walking down the hallway. Professor Victor Kane, the school's mysterious science teacher. He was moving quickly toward the science laboratory, and he kept looking over his shoulder, like he didn't want anyone to see him. Curious, the four friends decided to follow him. After Lena grabbed Harry from the classroom, they quietly followed the professor. He unlocked the laboratory door and disappeared inside. When the friends looked through the window, they were shocked. The lab was filled with strange machines, glowing chemicals, and experiments that looked nothing like normal school science. But then everything went wrong. A loud metal tray fell to the floor. The noise echoed through the hallway. The professor rushed toward the door to check. Thinking quickly, Lena released Harry, and the tiny mouse ran across the hallway. While the professor was distracted, the four friends slipped into the laboratory and hid. Inside the lab, they stared at the strange experiments surrounding them. But suddenly, one of the bottles fell and shattered on the floor. Colorful chemicals spilled everywhere. Moments later, strange glowing gas began filling the laboratory. The friends started coughing. Their vision became blurry, and one by one, they collapsed onto the floor. Hours later, Lena slowly opened her eyes. The laboratory was silent again. Confused and frightened, the four friends quickly escaped the school. But something felt different, very different. Jaden suddenly jumped into the air and landed on top of a school bus. Marcus looked down at his hands as electricity sparked between his fingers. Tara lifted a heavy metal container with ease, and Lena realized something impossible. She could suddenly understand Harry. The four friends stared at each other in shock. They had accidentally gained superpowers, but far away, driving down the dark road, Professor Kane smiled, because he already knew what had happened, and the experiment had finally worked. The four weakest students in school had just become something far more powerful, and their story was only just beginning.